here. I'm Janiece. Welcome to the channel. So a few things about me so we can get this thing started right. I love art. I'm dedicated to the archives. That is basically my artist narrative in a bunch, right? I'm dedicated to the archives of my ancestry, of nature, of I'd say Southern Black Gothic, you know? And so this channel is basically my personal archive. I truly believe that ancestors left us a blueprint of living well, whole, and just juicy lives, right? And it is our job to dive into the archives while simultaneously creating our own canon, you know, of our own, what is the recipe for me, Janiece, living well? And so if you've been rocking with me for a minute, you know that I really hold up this equation of Ori, embodiment, right? What is my specific formula for goodness, right? And we can learn that through divination. We can learn that through our birth chart. We can learn that from evidence of how I lived my life, going to therapy and having someone reflect back to us, you know, the goodness and the bad, holding a mirror, accountability, personality test, whatever form of understanding of self that we utilize to pursue, you know, and embodying that and becoming a better person and progressing within our destiny or, you know, our purpose, whatever reason that you have declared that you are here on this earth, embodying it and getting better at it, right? And then you have ancestors, because you take it a step further. It's not just about me. It's who did I come from? You know, who did I get this nose from? Who did I get this laugh from? These cheekbones, right? This glow, this skin, and understanding how that ancestry and that connection to lineage can broaden our understanding of self, right? And it can validate our desires. It can hold us accountable to the not so like buttery things about our personalities. It highlights our shadows and things that we can grow through and from, you know, but we can't do that without the mirror of ancestry. And then I believe it is our ancestors' job to kind of take all of this knowledge of self and knowledge of who we come from, and it is their job to lead us to the land associated with our specific juju, right? And so that can be a touchy subject as those of us in the diaspora are relearning and reconnecting to the land and our understanding of history and what was lost and what was stolen and what was destroyed on purpose to keep us from said history. But it's available to us, right? And it's been the most amazing journey recovering that, you know, through the help of spiritual gifts and connection to nature and energy that is just speaking loud enough if you are silent long enough to hear it, right? And so another thing about me, I have a business that I run called Witness in Color, witnessing incredible people do incredible things. And so I support them in getting started on their entrepreneur journey through business plans, website development, brand, like bring it all together. You know, I feel like in the market, there's a lot of people that'll help you like scale once you get to that part. You know, let's get your LLC together. Let's do all the nitty gritty and taxes and what's your scale and how are we gonna make $1 million within your first year, you know? There are people available for that, but getting over that first hump of like, do I have a dope idea that I can actually like execute upon, that I can maybe feed my family on, that I can leave my 9 to 5 from, you know, what does this look like? Especially for those who maybe don't have a background in business or that little help, that little push, that little umph of like, all right, I can do this. And the structure that comes with it, that's what I do with my clients, okay? And so in this last year, it's been really fun because I feel like we've taken it to the next level. I feel like I've always had help with my ancestors there, my clients' ancestors and the spirits that walk with, to kind of map out what this plan is that their heart, you know, came to this earth to conjure, right? What is this vision that exists in the heavens, but they want to bring down to earth to conjure here for their community, for themselves, for their family, right? I feel like we're now incorporating that knowledge a little bit deeper, you know, compared to before. Like it was there and we got some things done, but it's like, no, I decided to move away from this more so traditional business sense and really integrate that formula, right, of Ori, ancestors, and the land associated with your juju, because I was already bringing it to my client sessions, but I'm like, I want y'all to have this formula too, so you can have it to rely upon as you're on this journey, because we know that entrepreneurship, it is a day by day, sometimes, you know, month by month, how are we gonna figure this out? How can we pivot? How can we continue to adjust to the current economic marketplace and the twists and the trends that come with it, right? Like, it is not a one size fits all, and what you have developed in that first maybe month or 6 months of business will not be necessarily what works for you in year 1 or year 5. So how do you establish that like baseline of adaptability, of resilience, of understanding of your why? That's what I help my clients do. And so through that, I've also created some really dope workbooks, in my opinion, and I call them dope because I feel like they're for me as well. And because they're for me, and because they've helped me, and because, you know, they were channeled and brought to life with such care, I would love to share that, and I have been sharing that with my community. And so the first one is Becoming a Community Cornerstone, a starter's guide to entrepreneurship. And it really just starts from like, how do we create businesses that actually matter? In a season of scamming, of doing what you gotta do to make it work, how do we actually create something of value that has longevity to it, that will see longevity in the long run? The second one is Building Your Lineage Database Workbook, which again, when it comes to ancestors, you know, we're not starting from scratch. Nothing that we do is starting from scratch. What does the Bible say? There's nothing new under the sun, you know? I'll find the specific verse, but there is nothing new under the sun, and we are cyclical people. And so knowing that you're not starting from scratch, how can you approach conversations with elders, with your ancestry, with the land around you, with the history of your people, and seeing how can you compound the blessings to create new offerings, you know, that'll take shit to the next level, right? And then the third workbook is more of a PDF/anecdote of traveling according to my birth chart, because again, if the land is such a big portion of this ancestral equation, she can't be left out of it, right? And so I got to travel for a couple years, I'd say, according to my birth chart. And it was the most amazing experience. And I want that for everybody, because again, as we are reconnecting history that was stolen from us, that was destroyed, it's like we have clues that were left around of how we can still tap into magic that is available to us. You know, what places feel good to you, what places don't feel good to you, like that has like evidence that supports it through astrocartography. And so I would hope that by reading my story, you would feel inspired to dive into your own astrocartography, start connecting the dots of what places feel good, and which you can start business, in which your creative habits have, you know, legs to grow, in which you're able to meet people that inspire you and love on you and give you the really goodness that you really need to move forward in your dreams and in your destiny, right? So that's what I offer. Another thing about me is I'm a Sagittarius stellium.
Ow! Jump scare.
With a Taurus rising and a Cancer moon. And so you can kind of take that and just, I don't know, I like to look at all of these like conflicting energies as working together, of like why project management has had such a hold on my heart over the last couple years. And it really is because I will run a mile a minute in terms of creating ideas, in terms of doing things that set my heart afire, right? But I'm also gonna like work hard while I'm at it. Whatever I start, I will finish and see through, or I will end, you know, with as much grace as possible. But I'm a hard worker, and I will see things through to the end. And I want to feel good, and I want to make a lot of money, and I want it to look pretty along the way. And then that Cancer moon, I take my people with me. You know, I don't just be doing shit just to do it. I'm cognizant and caring of others around me, and my heart, I wear it on my sleeve proudly. I don't care. I will cry in the club. I will cry in the restaurant. I will cry anywhere. Here, there. What is it? Liking green eggs and ham. I will cry anywhere. And I've embraced it, you know, because my emotions are my superpower. And the people who love me, they understand that, and they've seen the benefit of the superpower as well. So all three together, working together, yeah, that's the energy I bring to everything that I do, okay? And so what do I want for myself through this archive, through this journey of creating art and my business and just play and fun, and essentially for those around me as I create, what is it that I want from life? Right now, I want to invest more into what I consider home. Traveling and just I didn't realize I had been so career focused that I like moved any and everywhere. And then I invested so much into my spiritual practice. And so I was traveling everywhere for that. And so it's been really dope, I'd say, where my travels have taken me, where my business and my career has taken me, where my curiosity for family and lineage have taken me. But now I'm ready to integrate that into what I consider home. Having a home base, you know, that I actually care about and decorate and find solace in when I'm not out in the world creating and starting and, you know, executing. What does it mean to come home to a temple, a sacred space that I have declared for myself? That is what I'm really looking forward to over the next couple of years. Because what did they say? There are years for investment and there are years for growth, right? And I've invested a lot. We'll just say that. I've invested a lot. And so those years, those microseconds in which life can stop and pause and you're able to like actually create something meaningful from everything that you've just absorbed, right? Like I've absorbed a lot and I'm ready to execute on that, you know, and integrate it all together. That formula that I know that I just need to thrive, and my ancestry, and learning more about my community and, you know, the land that I've decided to be in relationship with, as well as what does this look like long term in terms of my juju, my progression, my goodness, and those around me, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. What is home base gonna look like? Because yeah, the earth, she's doing her big one right now. You know, people have their own personal understandings of how the earth is doing her big one, and we love to see it. But it still requires us to show up. And I want to show up doing my big one. So welcome to the archives. Stay a while, comment, and let's do this thing, right? Let's create something absolutely beautiful. Ashe, ashe, ashe. And so to close out, we are going to do our benediction, which if you ever been to church, I grew up Baptist. And so to close out, they send you on your way with a parting prayer. We're going to use the song Higher by D'Angelo. And so God is my witness and watching over. We'll write our love. We'll write our love in stone. Please give us strength, Lord, to fight our battles, and we can walk on the streets of gold. Okay? Go in peace, go in love. Walk on them streets of gold. Create the streets of gold for yourself, for your family, for your community, for your loved ones, for your people coming up after you. You know, your children, their children's children, your nieces, your nephews, your nibblings. There are youth watching you. So whether you choose to have children or not, there are those coming up after you that need your goodness, that need your efforts. So go in peace and go in love. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.